the 18th century, America was transforming. Vast stretches of land were being cleared for farming, and new settlers moved westward, driven by dreams of opportunity and prosperity. Life is defined by the land, by the crops grown, the animals raised, and the communities built. But among the countless farmers and settlers, there was one unique group that stood apart, a religious community whose ideas of simplicity, equality, and peace would leave a lasting impact on the American society. This is the story of the Shakers. In this evolving American landscape, the Shakers, formerly known as the United Society of Believers in Christ's Second Appearing, emerged as a distinct religious community. They were founded in England in 1747 and later took root in America as part of the religious fervor of the Second Great Awakening. Influenced by Quaker beliefs, they earned the nickname Shaking Quakers due to their ecstatic worship style. However, they eventually split from mainstream Quakerism, establishing their own identity both on celibacy, communal living, and simplicity. Their commitment to these ideals set them apart from the broader society, making them a fascinating study in religious and social history. Beyond their religious beliefs, the Shakers were also progressive social reformers, advocating for movements like temperance and gender equality, well ahead of their time.
Mother Ann Lee, born in 1736, was a religious leader who brought the sect from England to the American colonies. She came from the Shaking Quakers, a group known for their expressive worship and embraced the doctrine of celibacy, believing that intimate relationships hindered Christ's work. Persecution and imprisonment only strengthened her commitment to this belief. After her death, her followers established the United Society of Believers in Christ's Second Appearing, commonly known as the Shakers. By 1826, they have expanded to 18 communities across 8 states. Under the leadership of Elder Joseph Meekum and Elders Lucy Wright, they developed a unique communal lifestyle based on celibacy and shared property. However, the lack of intimate relationships ultimately led to the near extinction of the Shakers after the Civil War.
The Shakers built their communities with a distinct social structure that gave them both rights and responsibilities. Unlike much of American society at the time, where rigid hierarchies determined one's status, the Shakers established a system that emphasized equality, spiritual devotion, and shared labor. These principles shaped their way of life and set them apart as a truly unique society. One of the fundamental rights of the Shakers was the freedom to worship in their own unique way. Worship was not confined to prayers or sermons. It was an immersive experience involving movement and music. The Shakers believed that the body should be used to honor God, which led them to their distinctive worship style. Their services included synchronized dances, orderly marches, and rhythmic swaying.
These movements, often accompanied by singing and clapping, were seen as a way to express devotion, communicate with the divine, and cleanse oneself of sin. Initially, the dances were more intense, but over time they became more structured, focusing on simpler motions. Since the Shakers practiced celibacy, these ecstatic dances also served as an emotional release, helping to relieve stress. The men and women danced separately, and after the dance, the group would gather in a circle, waiting to see if anyone received a gift or divine inspiration, which could include spontaneous actions like spinning in place for several minutes. This was viewed as a powerful spiritual experience, marking the connection between the individual and the divine.
Another core right of the Shakers was the right to gender equality. At the time, when women in broader American society had limited rights and opportunities, the Shakers embraced the idea that men and women were equal in all aspects of life. This belief stemmed from their interpretation of God's dual nature, embodying both masculine and feminine forces. As a result, women held leadership roles alongside men, had access to education, and could contribute equally to decision-making. This progressive stance set the Shakers apart as one of the earliest communities in America to practice true gender equality, an idea that would take centuries to be fully realized in the mainstream society. However, despite this equality, men and women remained physically separated in daily life to uphold their commitment to celibacy.
The Shakers also had the right to education and skill development, ensuring that all members, regardless of gender, received training in practical crafts, religious teachings, and communal responsibilities. Boys attended school in the winter, while girls attended in the summer, maintaining a balance between work and education. This system not only preserved the community's self-sufficiency, but also reinforced the Shakers' values of discipline, hard work, and spiritual enrichment.
Perhaps one of the most defining rights of the Shakers was their right to peace. Rooted in their belief that Christ's kingdom was one of the absolute harmony, the Shakers embraced pacifism, rejecting violence in all forms. They refused to serve in wars or bear arms, believing that conflict had no place in their spiritual mission. This unwavering commitment to peace influenced their interactions with the outside world, setting an example of community that thrived without force or aggression. Their pacifist stance remained consistent even during times of national turmoil, such as civil war, where they provided aid to those in need rather than engaging in battle.
While the Shakers enjoyed certain rights within their society, they also had significant responsibilities. The success of their community depended on their ability to maintain order, uphold to their beliefs, and contribute to the collective good. It was the responsibility of the Shakers to actively participate in work and labor as a fundamental part of their religious and communal life. Guided by the belief that hands to work, hearts to God, they viewed labor as a sacred duty and a form of worship. Each member contributed to the community's self-sufficiency through farming, craftsmanship, household chores, and construction. Their dedication to hard work led to innovations in agriculture, furniture making, and manufacturing, which not only sustained their villages but also allowed them to trade with the outside world. Through shared labor, the Shakers upheld their values of simplicity, equality, and devotion, ensuring the prosperity and longevity of their way of life.
It was the Shakers' responsibility to listen to and obey their elders, as they were required to follow the community's rules and leadership. The elders and eldresses appointed by the church family ministry were entrusted with the spiritual and physical well-being of the community. These leaders provided guidance and made decisions to ensure the smooth functioning of the Shaker way of life. Members were expected to respect and follow their direction, as the elders were seen as spiritual authorities responsible for maintaining order, harmony, and adherence to Shaker principles. This structure of obedience helped to preserve the unity and stability of the community.
The Shakers had a responsibility to live a life of simplicity, avoiding luxury and embracing modesty and hard work. They practiced communal living, where all property was shared, and members gave up personal possessions to maintain humility. Rejecting procreation, the Shakers adopted children and recruited converts to join their community, ensuring everyone adhered to the values of simplicity. Living in holy families, men and women worked together as equals, contributing to the community's spiritual and physical well-being. The Shakers also sought to live away from corrupting influences of urban life, choosing rural colonies where they focused on simplicity in dress, speech, and daily activities. This lifestyle, rooted in their religious beliefs, was central to their mission of achieving perfection and creating a peaceful, harmonious community.
The Shakers were a community defined by their principles of faith, equality, and discipline. Their way of life, though vastly different from the mainstream American society, reflected a deep commitment to their values.
Through their practices of communal living, spiritual devotion, and shared responsibilities, the Shakers created a distinctive society that reflected their vision of a perfect, harmonious world. Their legacy, though diminished in numbers, remains an enduring testament to the power of faith and community.